Hello everybody, Merry Christmas. Lisa here from the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. It is Christmas Day and I wasn't planning to film today at all, but it's about 9:30 at night and I have a quiet house. My husband is doing bedtime with Owen right now. He fell asleep in the car on the way home from my brother's house. And yeah, it's quiet and I'm going to just take advantage while I can of time to record before it's like just chaos again tomorrow. Yeah, so, oh my goodness. I hope that you all have had an amazing holiday. By the time you see this, it will be the aftermath of all the holiday excitement. And I don't know how many of you were knitting gifts for friends and family this year. I did not do any, well, that's not true. I did a little bit of gift knitting, but not really so much. Yeah, so it's gonna not be a typical episode tonight probably. I don't have a whole lot of knitting content, but I mean, I have the epic Owen Christmas sweater. So, and I have stories about that. So I want to share that with you guys today. And then I have a few acquisitions that I got for Christmas today that are knitting related. I figured that I would just pop on really quick while I have it all right out here and just share it with you all. I figured I'm here. I'm in a red sweater. So, all right, what am I wearing? You guys, I've done this one before, I think episode 2, but I threw on my Love Note sweater today by Tin Can Knits because it's red and it is festive and I love this thing. I feel really great in this sweater. Yeah, so one of my favorites. I highly recommend this pattern and yeah, I already really talked about it a lot in a previous episode, so if you want to hear more about this sweater, you can go back to episode 2 where I talk about it. And then of course I will link my project page on Ravelry, so it'll have the details of the yarn that I used and all of that. So, okay, let's just get into it here. First of all, gift giving, knitting gifts that I gave. Only one this year, and that was the hat and mittens to my mom that I showed off maybe 2 episodes ago, and she was really happy. So these are the mittens that I knit for her a couple of Christmases ago that were like way too big, and so she opened them today and she said, "Did you redo my mittens?" And she tried them on and they fit, and she really liked the hat. So I'll insert a couple pictures. I don't have any pictures of her in them. I don't think that she would want me to share pictures of her in them on here, so I will just insert a picture of the finished object just to refresh your memory. But that gift went over super well, so thank goodness. Yeah, so all right, finished objects. Oh, hi Lila, come here baby, come here baby. Do you want to say hi? Do you guys remember my last episode? I had to take this kitty to the vet, so she's still on medicine, but this is my Lila girl, and she's got some stuff going on with her eye. Hi, yeah, I love you. And she's mostly been hiding from me lately with all the medicine, but so I'm very pleased to see her out and hanging out with me again a little bit. So yeah. Aw, poor thing. Bless you. Poor thing. Okay, so Owen's Christmas sweater. I did get it done. I had to kind of do it twice. So, all right, here we go. Oh my goodness, I forgot his drawing. I will insert, I can go grab it, but I'll insert a picture of it because I just want to talk about it for a second. All right, so I'm so happy with how this came out, and so is Owen. He absolutely loves this. He has worn it twice already. So, hey, are you coming up? Hi there. Sorry, kitty, kitty, kitty. You're usually in my lap. Do you want to come in my lap? Do you want to come in my lap and sit? You can. Here. I'll have a kitty in my lap for today. Come here, sweetheart. Okay. So, this is where she usually is right here in my lap. Hey. All right, you want to just hang out? I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so, yeah, you want to see Owen's sweater, kitty kitty? You've been hiding from me. Look at what I made Owen. I know. All right, so Lila's going to hang out with me for a little bit. I think her face is off camera, and that's okay. But, yeah, there you go. Where do you want to sit, on the table or in my lap? I'm going to curl up. Aww. Okay. Yeah. Now life is normal. Yeah, you're in your spot. Okay. All right. So, Owen's Christmas sweater. It turned out so cute. So, all right. I furiously knit on this on Monday, throughout the night on Monday. When I showed it to you last time, it was in it was not seamed. It was in one big piece. And so it looked like a big plus sign with a big circle in the center of it. The first thing that I did when I worked on it again was the cuffs. And I had still had the needles on one of them. So this was flat, the sleeve was flat. And what I did was I put it on my smaller size needles. So I used size 3 and size 6 needles for this sweater. So I used size 6 for the body. And then I used size 3 needles for the cuffs. And so even though the seam was flat, the sleeve, there we go, the sleeve was flat. When I picked up for the cuffs, I connected in the round. And I knit the brioche, the 2-color brioche rib in the round. So I will get some closer up photos when I don't have a cat in my lap. But yeah, so that's what that looks like. And this was easy. This came out so great. So what I did was the other cuff. Also, no big deal. Came out super great. Okay. So, ouchie, claws, little girl. There you go. So then, before I did anything else, I did the side seams. And look, I am so proud of this work. Let me just show you guys the side seams here. So it's like maybe the stripe is maybe 2 stitches thicker than the others, but it's under his arm. I love mattress stitch. Mattress stitch is the most magical, best thing ever. Love doing it. So I actually think seaming is super relaxing and super fun to do. So I did that. What I did was I started at the bottom of the body and I mattress stitched all the way up, and then I just was really, really careful to line the seam up for the stripes perfectly. And yeah, I just went up to the cuff, which was already in the round. And so I did that on both sides. And then I picked up for the neckbands. And so then the next thing I did was brioche stitch for the neckband, the same as the cuffs. So I did a really fancy bind off. I mean, fancy for me because I have zero, well, now I do, but I had zero experience with brioche. So I kind of want to get up and show the camera. Can I scoot you to the table? I don't know. Can you move? I know, I'm so happy you're in my lap too. That's a great place right there. Yeah, can you just lay down right there? Yeah? Okay, so let me show you. I did this really pretty two color bind off for the cuffs. So, which is fine because it's the cuffs. I didn't, like, it's not very stretchy. Like brioche stitches is super duper stretchy, but then this bind off is not. So, you know, I'm glad that I did that for the cuffs first, because obviously then I was concerned after doing the neckline that, you know, after I bound off, bless you, after I bound off, I wanted to make sure that I used a stretchy bind off so he would still be able to fit it over his head. So, like I got that far, and I did an Italian bind off, which is basically like a tubular bind off for, yeah, it's like, it's where you sew it. Kind of, sort of similar to Kitchener stitch. But yeah, I mean, I've done it before. I hadn't done it recently, so I just had to look up a little tutorial. I think what I'll do is I'm going to include links to the tutorials that I used for how to knit the two-color brioche ribbing, because I had never done it, so I looked everything up just on YouTube. So I'm going to include links to the tutorials that I used for that, and for the two-color bind off for the cuffs that I did, and also for the Italian bind off that I did for the neckline ribbing. So, all right. So then that was all I could do. So this was Sunday, I think was Sunday, and it was really late, so I went to bed. And I wasn't able to get back to this sweater until Monday night. Okay, so Monday night. Now, on Tuesday at his school was holiday sweater, ugly or not day. So this was my deadline, was Tuesday morning. The bus comes at 8:54 in the morning. I had this done, so he leaves for the bus at 8:45, so that they're there a few minutes early. I finally handed him his sweater at 8:40 Tuesday morning. I pulled an all-nighter to get this thing done. Oh my goodness. I didn't think I was gonna need that much time. Partly is because I didn't do math. Okay. I don't know why I didn't. Like, for the ribbing on the sleeves, I switched to smaller needles, and I just picked up, like, I didn't have to pick up any stitches. I just went in the round. I joined in the round and then just went. So I used the same exact stitch count that, like, I started off on. And the same thing for the neckbands. Like, I picked up, you know, just the bind off stitches, or the side seam, like there were bind off stitches at this shoulder edge and this shoulder edge, and then whatever was remaining on the side for these three stripes, I just picked up normal stitches. It was fine. It worked. For some reason, I picked up like 240 stitches around the body, like 120 on the front and 120 on the back. I don't know if it was like just deadline looming, the looming deadline brain, or what. So that's what I did. And I was like, this is like really squished on my needles. I don't know. And I mean, it was all going fine. I had, you know, basically this much done, and then I bound off at like 8 a.m. right? So I'm down to like 40 minutes here. And so before I bound off, like I was kind of going back and forth doing my ribbing and then working on these details, because, you know, like my hands were getting tired because I had been knitting for like a million hours with very limited breaks. So I had already thankfully knit up the Christmas tree and the star. So what I did was I knit like a little I-cord. So I'll come in close so you guys can see the detail for my Christmas tree. So I knit a little I-cord and attached some lights, you know, so I mean that took time. And then I whip stitched it onto the sweater. And so I was doing that part at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I was a little bit panicky. I told Owen, I said, I don't know if you're gonna have a present in time to wear it to school, because I hadn't even knit this little present yet. So, I mean, I was stressed. I was so stressed. And at this point, like, I had a feeling that the ribbing wasn't gonna work out. But I couldn't do anything about it because I needed to get him this sweater. I had promised him this sweater, and he needed something. This kid was gonna be heartbroken if he didn't have this sweater to wear to school. So, so I bound off. And of course, because I had picked up too many stitches, I will show you the picture. I tried to kind of pin it, but of course the ribbing like flounced out like this. You know, it flared out. And it didn't look good, right? I mean, the ribbing is supposed to cinch in. So it totally looked almost, not like a ruffle because it wasn't wavy, but like close to being a ruffle. Like, oh my goodness. So I was so disappointed because obviously I had worked hard on it, but it didn't look how I wanted it to look. So what I did for like just the temporary solution was I just kind of pinched in a few points at the side, inside, and stitched it together. I had to stitch it really tightly, so then of course like it wasn't going to go anywhere, but it at least looked better. Like it was presentable enough for him to wear to school without me feeling like it was going to be ridiculously noticeable. Okay, so he was beyond the moon happy. He was so happy with it. I mean, bless his little heart. The look on his face when 5 minutes before the bus came, I gave him his sweater. It had the little present on it. He was thrilled. He was so happy. We took some quick pictures with him holding his original sweater design up next to him, and the kid, I mean, it was adorable. He was just so happy with it. So I was disappointed because I was like, okay, now I've got to fix it because, it's going to bug me, because especially if I want to write up a pattern for it, I'm not going to write up something that is not correct, right? All right, so he happily wore it to school on Tuesday, and then I took it back and I said, okay, I am going to fix this for you before Christmas. Also, like, I did the lights in a similar way to how I did them on the O Tannenbaum hat, but for some reason they were really a lot looser when I knit them on. Maybe it was just my haste of doing it like after I pulled an all-nighter, so I mean I had zero sleep, and maybe I just didn't stitch them on tightly enough. So I ended up, the first thing I did was I took the lights off and I reattached the lights because they were loose and he was afraid that they were gonna fall off. He really loves the lights, and so I grabbed those off. I snipped those off of there and I reattached those. So I got those back on, and then I tried to unknit to just like rip it out, but because I had cinched it in and did all this stitching and had woven in all kinds of ends and everything, it wasn't coming undone. I ended up having to take my scissors and just cut out this hem completely, and just start over. So there was like, my trash can was just full of like yarn spaghetti in bits, blue and orange yarn spaghetti. It was like I killed it. It was not a pretty sight. Thankfully though, I had enough yarn that I knew I was safe. I had a mild panic attack when I couldn't find the blue after having already cut it. That was not fun. But yeah, so, so that was enough for the night. Like I killed the sweater and it was late and then I went to bed. So then I picked it up again 2 nights ago. So Wednesday night, thinking, okay, I still have plenty of time to get this fixed up for him for Christmas. I did math this time. This time I said, you know, Lisa, maybe it would be a good idea to check your stitch gauge from your cuff and figure out mathematically how many stitches you should pick up. Last time, in the last episode, I totally gave myself like a big pat on the back for doing math, for the neckline, the neckband, the hole and everything, and just placing everything in a specific place. Totally patting on myself on the back for doing math. Yeah, it didn't even occur to me. It didn't even occur to me when I was doing this that I should actually figure out an actual stitch count. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, look, this is my first time designing a pattern. I don't know. I should know. I mean, it would make sense that math should play an important role in sweater design. And I can assure you now, it does. Don't skip out on the math. It's not like I was just being lazy. Like it just didn't occur to me. It didn't occur to me to try. So this time I figured out what my gauge was, right? And then I picked up many fewer stitches, and I knit like half of the hem again in Brioche. So then yesterday, so that was Wednesday night, I was like, okay, I've already got most of the hem is redone. I'm already done with like most of my Christmas wrapping. So after Owen goes to bed on Christmas Eve, I'll finish the hem. I'll, wrap the last few gifts I have to wrap. Then I'll finish the hem and bind it off, and I'll be in bed at like normal time. So I come downstairs and I see a pair of needles sitting on the couch, and I picked them up, and they're my Chow size 3 circular needles. Those were the ones that were supposed to be in my sweater, in my hem. You guys can see where this is going. So I checked, and as I was doing it, I was like, why doesn't this look as nice as the cuff? Like it doesn't look as tidy, and I couldn't figure out why. Sure enough, I had picked up this time with my size 6 needles that were laying there that I had used for the body of the sweater. So when I figured this out, I mean, this is such a sad story. I don't know. I was so frustrated. I was so tired. When I figured this out, this was yesterday. So this is Christmas Eve, and it's like 10 p.m., something like that. I was not pleased. But I knew that it had to be done correctly. So out the size 6 needles came, and I frog, ripped out everything I had done the night before. All of my hard work, I just ripped it right out. That hurt. That was really painful, because now I'm like, okay, this is his Christmas sweater. Now I've got to get this done. I was exhausted. I knew Owen was going to be up like super early, right? And with the hecticness that comes with Christmas Day, I knew that I needed to get as much of this hem done as possible last night. So, but I did it. I made sure that I had size 3 needles, and I had already done the math, so I knew my stitch count was going to be good. So I did it, and I picked it up, and I knit a little bit more than half of the ribbing, and I said, okay, I cannot stay awake any longer, but this is at least close. I didn't need him to have it on. He was going to be in pajamas until like dinner time, like, because we were just going over to my brother's for dessert. So I had until like 6 o'clock. So a few rows here, a few rows there. I finally bound it off for the third time at 6 o'clock, right before, and I shoved it on him again right before we had to be out the door. But I got it done. And this time, look at that. It looks so much better. I'm so pleased with it this time. Like, it is so good, so much better. Probably could even get away with picking up a little bit less stitches still, but it is not flaring out. And it on him, it looks absolutely adorable. And now he has his first ever designed Christmas sweater. And so I've decided that I think this needs to become a tradition between he and I, where every year, hopefully with more than 16 days notice, but every year, sometime at least in November, he's gonna I'll find like a blank sweater that similar to what he was given in his art class, and I'm gonna have him design his Christmas sweater. I think that just making him a part of that process every year will make it something that he feels really connected to, and that is just really special for both of us. So hopefully this is the first of many, many, many Christmas sweaters designed by Owen and made by Mommy. So I'm so glad this is done. This was the only knitting that I did this week. So what did I not get done? Santa. Santa, sadly, is just, he's been demoted from whip to UFO. I'm sorry, Santa, but I couldn't do it. Would have done it if I hadn't royally messed up the hem. Then I was gonna have enough time. Bless you. But it was more important to me to have the Christmas sweater done than some Santa that I was gonna put in his stocking. And I found a cute little Olaf snowman to put in his stocking, so he had something. So, yeah. So Santa, I don't know if I'll sew him together at some point this week so that he just is a finished object and off my plate and then we enjoy him next year, or if he's just gonna be a UFO until next December. But all he needs is sewing and stuffing, so at least he's like, he's a hoe. That's hilarious. He's a ho ho ho. That is too funny. I'm tired. Yeah, we'll just leave him as a hoe. Clearly I need some sleep. Okay, so the other thing that I did not get done was I never got around to knitting my Santa hat. But that's okay. I have the materials, and maybe what I'll do is like some Christmas in July knitting and spend some time in July just getting some of these little Christmas projects going, at least. I don't know. So that's something that I might consider doing. So yeah. All right. So I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna have a quiet house, but I do have a quiet house. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my Christmas acquisitions. So, all right. The one thing that I have not done yet on this podcast is talk about tea, show off the tea that I'm drinking and all that. It seems to be a podcaster thing in the knitting community. I don't know if it's restricted, isolated to the knitting community, or if it's just a thing that like all podcasters just tend to do. But last year, my husband got me a really cute personal tea called, but it's like a mug, and it has a filter in it, and you stick your loose leaf tea into it, and just when you're done steeping your tea, so it's one of those. And it turned out to be an amazing Christmas gift. And so this year he got me some tea. So this is from in Huntington on Long Island. There is Clipper Ship Tea Company, and so he got me two. Before I have given him the approval that yes, I like this flavor, he gets me the small quantity. Last year he got me gingerbread, and now like I still have this like ginormous bag of gingerbread tea because I liked it so much that he went back and just got like a huge bag, which is amazing. Gingerbread cookies and gingerbread tea. Yeah, this time of year is amazing. So this year he picked up spiced cider. So this is a caffeine-free tea for my nighttime tea drinking and afternoon. And then he got candy cane flavor. So, and this one is a black tea. So I'm gonna try this one tomorrow morning. So I'm excited about those. And then, all right, Kitty's back in my lap. Hey. Which is cute because the other thing he got me was this, and it's called the Cozy Cat Collection. And it says cozy teas to sip with your cat. So I'm definitely gonna enjoy this. So this has 5 25-gram bags of tea in it, and they are roasted almond, nutty dessert, decaf English toffee, chocolate chai, and snow monkey. So I'm gonna be really excited to try these out. So I'm excited about those. Yeah, so let's see. All right. I have a big gift from my husband that I do not have in my possession yet. And that is a subscription, a monthly subscription, I think I said that right, to Paradise Fibers. And so I'm going to be getting a monthly fiber kit with different fibers. I've never gotten a monthly fiber kit before. So that has already shipped, but it didn't arrive in time for me to get the first shipment, but it is scheduled to come on Monday. So maybe when I get it, I'll do a little unboxing. But I will be returning because I told him, I said, I really this year want to spend more time spinning. And so I was looking into some different fiber subscriptions, and the one through Paradise Fibers seemed to have a lot of positive reviews, and I just thought, why not? So that's the one that we decided to test out. And so yeah, the first one is going to come Monday, and I'm just really excited to see everything that comes in it. And so spinning will be resuming. Last year, now, my big gift from my husband was I got, for spinning also, I got the Eel Wheel Nano little electric spinning wheel. And it is so great. It took me a while to even get around to testing it out, because after Christmas I had like the first 3 months of the year, I had a lot of professional music engagements, presenting lecture recitals at various flute festivals. Thankfully, my last scheduled performance was the week before the world shut down, so I was able to get everything that I currently had scheduled in. So one of the things that I did after that was I got out my Eel Wheel Nano, and my husband and I played around with it, and it took some trial and error, and we had a lot of error at first, just trying to figure out how to get a really consistent thickness or thinness to the fiber. So, but once we figured it out, it was super easy to use. So I spent like a few weeks filling up. It's downstairs, I didn't bring it, but I'll pop on with it in one of these episodes coming up, and I'll show it to you guys, maybe in the next one. but soon I'll show it off. And I spun up an entire 4 ounces of really pretty blue Targhee. I think it was Targhee again. I might have the fiber wrong because it's been a while since I've looked at it. But I have 6 bobbins full of singles that I had spun on this eel wheel. But unlike with my drop spindle, like when I made my last yarn into a yarn, I spun just on I did the plying on my drop spindle. And then I couldn't really figure out how I wanted to ply my yarns together on the eel wheel without, I just never got around to constructing a Lazy Kate, like a DIY version. So the thing that I asked for from my mom this year was a Lazy Kate. And so she got this one also at Paradise Fibers, and I took it out of the box. I mean, I just got this today, so I haven't used it yet, but I have it here. And so I'll be able to make up to, I guess, a 4-ply yarn with this. So yeah, so I am super excited to finally have a Lazy Kate. And so it comes with, I mean, it comes with something that I have to, I don't know. It's got a spring and a string to the spring, and yeah, I've got to figure this out. So yeah, so I'm really excited to do that. I'm really excited to finally get those singles plied together and make another yarn. So that is on the very soon to do agenda as far as spinning goes. And then I got a really fun gift from my son. He got me Goat Yoga, this little wooden stacking game. So yeah, I thought that was just really fun. So I got that. And then I have 4 knitting books. So my mother-in-law, my husband gave her a few like books that were on my Amazon wish list, and one of them was Bristol Ivy's Knitting Outside the Box. I haven't even had a chance to flip through any of these yet, but can I just tell you, this is beautiful. The cover, oh my goodness. I don't know if it's, I don't know how to describe, you know, the material, but it's just so nice. I mean, there's not a book jacket on it. It's not, there's no like plastic cover on it. It's just like a really, really nicely textured book. So this has been on my wish list for a long time. So I'm looking forward to just flipping through this over the next few days. And then I got 2 books by Jorid Linvik. I don't know if that's like the pronunciation, but is she Scandinavian? I don't know. I've been following her Mittens and Socks on Instagram, and then last year I got at some point her sock book at Barnes & Noble. And she also has, I think, a mitten book, which I don't have, but I got 2 other books. I got the big book of Christmas knits. So it's got 70, over 70 Scandinavian holiday patterns. So I love doing color work, and these are really fun. And so I thought that just looked like a really fun book. And then another one that was on my wish list by her, I think it's a she, by the same author, the same designer, was Big Book of Knits for Kids. And this says over 45 distinctive Scandinavian patterns. So I'm super excited about both of those because you guys know I love knitting for Owen. So I thought that would be super fun. And then I got, this was another one, and it is called Squares, Stripes, and Lice. And so this is 25 traditional knitting designs from Bergen, Norway. And so I got this book. because when I was flipping through this one in Barnes & Noble, I saw several designs that I would wear or maybe like to knit up for somebody else. And I'm pretty sure that they also give you like a little bit, yeah, like you get a little bit of history, I guess. And I don't know, there's a lot to this book. So I haven't had a chance to sit down with it yet, but I mean, like they even have like some little like vintage pictures in there and everything. So yeah, so that's everything. That's everything that I got. I don't have the fiber to show you guys yet, but that is coming. And yeah, this was just a short little episode this week. But I did say that I wanted to have something to go out this weekend for you guys. So yeah, I don't know what else to say today. I think I'm just gonna kind of wind down. Maybe I'll make some tea and sit down and do a little bit of knitting, or just a little bit of like just flipping through some of these books. I'm pretty tired. Oh, I got up pretty early, like 6:30. It could have been worse. The night before last night, so this would be Christmas Eve, he had a dentist appointment, and he had a dentist appointment a couple weeks before. It took us 6 months to get him his dentist appointment. And then of course, like his tooth was bothering him, and he had not one, but 2 cavities. So on Christmas Eve, he had his first tooth pulled, and he hasn't lost a tooth yet on his own. So like we weren't planning to do the tooth fairy thing with the cavity teeth. But my husband, he was the only one, it was only one parent allowed, and I was teaching. So my husband took him to the dentist and said that the dentist just handed him the tooth and said, okay, here, this is for the tooth fairy. So at that point we were like, all right, well, now he's gonna be expecting the tooth fairy to come. So it was his first one, so we didn't want to be mean. He said, the tooth fairy's gonna come and leave me a coin. So we're like, okay, well, we can do some coins. So my husband put like $2 in quarters for him. So I don't know what the tooth fairy is gonna leave when he actually loses a tooth on his own without having it pulled. But this meant Christmas Eve morning, Owen woke up at 4 a.m. which was not too late, not too much after I was just going to bed trying to work on his sweater. He came in all excited about the tooth fairy, and then he would not go back to sleep. So Christmas Eve morning, he was 4 o'clock in the morning, wide awake, just like ready to go for the day. So I stayed up with him a little bit since I hadn't really gone to bed yet, and I let my husband get a little bit more sleep. Or he tried to. He couldn't really. Once he wakes up, he has trouble going back to sleep. Not me. I pass out, and I am out for like, basically could have like a whole construction thing going on outside, and it would never wake me up, ever. I can sleep through anything. But my husband, he doesn't, once he gets awoken, he has a hard time going back to sleep. So we tried to let him sleep, but he wasn't too successful with that. So then he just got up, and then I went to bed, and yeah. So it's been like a couple days of earlier than even normal mornings for Owen. So yeah, so I don't know if I'll knit. What I do have to do, oh, here's the other acquisition that I have. I'll show it to you guys next time, because I've got a cat in my lap, and she's been kind of avoiding me since she's been in so much pain and mad at mommy for giving her medicine. So I'm really pleased that she's snuggling right now. But on Monday, I finally got my sweater yarn. Or maybe it was Saturday. So for my test knit sweater, my Noctua sweater, that I have to have done in less than a month now, my yarn, the post office kind of got a hold of it in Wisconsin, and I know that they've been so busy, but it got trapped for a few weeks. So instead of taking just the normal 3 days, it took 3 weeks to get to me, which held off my test knit, which I decided after Owen gave me his sweater was really I was just going with it and just saying, okay, I'm gonna just deal with what I have the yarn to deal with, and then once it comes and we get past Christmas. So I think tomorrow, so now I finally have, like, I had the colorwork stuff came right away, and then I had ordered the main body color from Susan B. Anderson at Barrett Wilco. So that finally made it to me. So I think tomorrow will be spent winding up some yarn and doing a swatch, and yeah, just getting everything organized to get started on my test knit, because that's like my next big knitting project. I'm gonna now have to be pretty monogamous with that one until it's done, because I'm getting a late start, later than planned, and I have a deadline. But that'll be super fun. So cast-ons, new cast-ons are always fun. I love doing test knits. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. So I am going to say goodnight, and I hope you guys all had a wonderful holiday. And to everybody who celebrated Christmas today, I hope that you were able to do it in a healthy and safe way, and whether you were able to be with anybody or not, I hope that you found a way to make this holiday just somehow special to you. Yeah, so this year's almost over. So probably thank goodness, but yeah, it's been a weird one. So, and to everybody else, I hope that whatever holiday you celebrate, if you celebrate at this time of year, that you have had an amazing holiday. And thank you guys so much for being with me for 7. I guess this is maybe like episode number 8. It's not really a full episode, but yeah. Thank you guys for sticking with me so far in this. And we have almost 300 subscribers now. So that is really exciting. And yeah, I want to know if you guys, all right, so I would love more interaction in my comments. So if you guys got any knitting related gifts, tell me what you got. What was your favorite thing? And yeah, just tell me everything you got knitting related for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever. Or if you just did purchase something for yourself, whatever. And yeah, tell me if you got any knitted gifts, and tell me if you knit any gifts for anybody else and how they were received. Have a beautiful night, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys all very soon. Bye. Merry Christmas.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul heard its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, for hear the angels taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is a brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy